All right, should be going live in just a second. How's it going, everybody? This is the Osmo.com NHL Strategy Show. 3-game slate today. Had a big one yesterday. We'll have a huge one tomorrow before Thanksgiving. And then I think there's actually a game on Thanksgiving. But we won't be doing a show for that one. It'll just be a showdown slate, and it's probably going to be pretty small with football going on. But we got two more to grind through until we get basically a day break. And then right back on Friday. Last night, I'm trying to think what happened last night. The Sharks were actually really good last night, which I was not expecting after their new lines that they came out with, or the little line juggling they had. But I do actually like this 3-gamer. So this should be, I think, pretty good to talk about. I like it even more when I see what we have for ownership projections. If you want access to the ownership projections, they are made free some days. Every once in a while we're doing the free premium content. If you want to join, promo code Hit the Ice is how you get 50% off your first month of any monthly package, whether it's all access or sports specific. So use that. That would help us out. It's obviously going to help you out to get 50% off your first month. Kind of use that as a trial. We do have a giveaway going on right now. If you guys saw, already a ton of responses. And honestly, there's really there's no reason why you wouldn't try to do this. But NFL Thanksgiving giveaway. This is not just a sports-specific package. You can win a free Osmo Plus yearly pass. $1,000 value, full year, retweet, like, reply. And let's see. All you have to do in addition to that is just fill out. So you click on this. You will fill out this form right here to enter. Super simple. I don't know if you ever thought about getting a subscription. If you have one right now, might as well try it out, right? Guess the total points scored in the Cowboys-Bills game. So a little bit different of a giveaway. Just got to fill out this little form, and you're good to go. So hopefully you get closest, and yeah, it's pretty cool giveaway. I mean, yearly pass. Can't complain with that. No big favorites on the money lines tonight. I got smoked in NHL. Ravens saved me. Yeah, I thought I was going to have a pretty good showdown night last night. I had a ton of Lamar. I mean, everybody had a ton of Lamar, but I had a ton of Lamar at captain, and I think he ended up being the nut captain, but didn't really have anything going on. NHL, we can talk about last night. We are presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. They're rolling out some pretty cool contests for NFL. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they've had a couple fill already. The guaranteed overlay. One was a negative 50% management fee, so it was a $75K, 75K in prizes and only $50K worth of entry fees. So they were giving away $25,000 in guaranteed overlay. So I got in that one. Hopefully you guys took advantage of that. There was also a 150 max that filled yesterday, and then the 20 max did fill this morning. So keep an eye out for more guaranteed overlay stuff. I actually don't know if they're coming out with more, but keep an eye on Yahoo. I mean, you should be playing there regardless if you like saving some money on management fees, or if you just like going up against weaker competition. But definitely, if you play NFL, why wouldn't you be looking for guaranteed overlay tournaments or 12%? Rather than 16, what you're going to pay elsewhere. So if you're just shopping around, I think Yahoo is a great place to play. They also have NBA contests, 5K to first in the 30K baller tonight, even on a 2-game slate. That's pretty good stuff. And then for NHL, $200 to first in this $12, but 10.7% management fee. Not too bad. Go support Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. They do support us, and when you do, use promo code AWESOMO to get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Let's go to lineup study. Actually, one more thing. We do have the main slate ownership projections. Those are free today. So even if you are not a premium member, you can check those out. Those are free. 2-game NBA slate, but you can kind of get a taste of what it's like to sign up with an NBA package. Best ownership projections you're going to find definitely for free for today. Last night, saw some familiar names up at the top. I don't know. I didn't have a good night, but our friend Testosterone Cheese is good. There you go. Took it down with 13 lineups. That's all it took. So pretty impressive here. Been seeing him play more NHL. Really good MLB DFS player. So to bank with only 13 lineups, and I actually did look at this lineup before just to make sure I was correct. He went with Dubois, Bjorkstrand. So a two-man Columbus stack, and then the Radulov, Klingberg. I mean, that was the nut combo if you had those two, or Dallas too. But Dubois, Bjorkstrand weren't on the same. They weren't on the same line even. So maybe just a power play stack. I'm not sure. Maybe this was made with an optimizer. Maybe it was hand built. But the nut defenseman, Klingberg, Giordano, and then got some good production out of LA1. So there you go. Good looking lineup. He only had, like I said, 12 others. Matt was in first at the start of the third in LA. He caught up with late goals in that one. Yeah, that's brutal. Sorry to hear, but I think you were up there, weren't you? Yeah, okay. Only 43 lineups. Giordano with Yard. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that's I wonder if that was that couldn't have been intentional, right? There's no way. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't go out of my way to play skaters, even defensemen, against my goalie on a 9-gamer. So, not something I would have landed on, but it appears to have worked out swimmingly for him. Testosterone, and I did see. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's username, but YCMMAT. One of the better players from last season. Only single entered. I was pretty sure he was a multi-entry player, but he single entered. Him and Testosterone, I think they had the exact same lineup. Not collusion. They both used the same 3-3. But Point, Kucherov, Palat, and then I think they both had Klingberg and Carlson with Dallas too. So pretty standard lineup, correlated goalie. Just a really good lineup, and ended up on the nut combo. I didn't think 3-3 was going to work out. Yeah, how do you not play Doughty over Giordano with a king stack? I mean, I go back and forth on correlating with my goalies. I do sometimes, I don't other times. Mostly just want to, at the very least, lock in correlation with my forwards. But, defenseman, it might be a good way to differentiate rather than just the 4-3-1, honestly. So I don't really have a problem with that. But playing a skater against your goalie, not really something I do, except on smaller slates. Like tonight, you could probably make the argument you could on a 3-game slate even in a tournament format. I guess you're limiting your upside, but you're not going to hit the absolute nuts anyways. I mean, probably not even on a 3-game slate. So, I don't think I'm allowing for a skater against my goalie tonight. Certainly would not allow that on a 9-game slate. But other people have other strategies, and who am I to say that that's not a viable one? So yeah, they did have the exact same lineup here. So single bullet, really impressive job. Left $200 on the table. No big deal there. Let's look at yours, Matt, and see. 43, you cashed 12. Your top lineup was Stastny, Stone, Pacioretty. Okay. Raquel, Getzlaf. Yep, we talked about the 3-2 with Raquel and Getzlaf. Leave off Troy Terry. Voracek, one off, scored. Yeah, really awesome lineup. So you had, I guess it was a 4-3-2. Or I'm sorry, 4-2-2 with Theodore and in Vegas 2. Gibson, correlated goalie. Man, you never see Gibson at 2.1%. That's weird. He seems to always get popular, but I guess it was a pretty big slate, so probably not a lot of goalies even reaching double digits. Nice job there. Really good looking lineup. Bunch of familiar names, draft charts, Beat Crider, Dollar Bill, Slewfoot, myself, Boggs. I mean, yeah, it ended up looking like a good night for the multi-enterers for the most part, even though a bunch of us didn't actually end up getting there. Gibson 2%, Grice 16% for basically the same price in nearly pick'em game. Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, the price difference was probably maybe what got people off of them, but I mean, Gibson's always going to see volume. It's weird that he was only 2.1%, but nice that you took advantage of it. I didn't do the full 141 last night. I did 100. My top lineup, I think, had Kopitar. Yeah, I think. So I didn't have the good defenseman, and it cost me. I didn't correlate my goalie in this lineup too. So I run some uncorrelated, very few lineups. This ended up being my best one. Maybe with an Allen win, I move up and get closer to the top, or if I have someone different than Sanheim. But with this lineup construction, I don't think I was really going to get there anyways. So I wasn't super close to much of anything. Chucky first goal as a pen. Yeah, I saw that. Cheese was always I don't think he was an NHL guy. I think he's just started playing NHL. So, and he's been good. So, another shark in the ecosystem for us to try to beat out. But what else did I have here? Testosterone binked the 180. Let's see. Was this just one of his top lineups? Was it the same one? Yep, same lineup. So he had this same lineup in a couple different tournaments. $50 single entry. So maybe this was just his top projected lineup. What's up, Petty? Back playing some NHL. Speaking of sharks, geez, you don't want to mess with this guy if he starts getting good at NHL. There you go. Wow, geez. So he just that must have been one of his top lineups, and it binked a bunch of stuff in single entry. Cheese binked the $12. Pretty shark infested, actually. I thought it was gonna be a bad night for the MME guys, and it ended up being really good for a bunch of them. How you been? Pretty good. Had a good week last week. This week is not gone the same, or I guess since then it's not gone the same, but I can't complain. Cannot complain at all. So, especially tilting last night. If you've lost tons of money in Erik Karlsson this year, didn't have him. Yeah, he's had like one big blow up performance before last night, and then last night he did it, and yeah, he was popular. I didn't have a lot of him. That happens, man. Let's start talking. Don't got all day. I mean, it's 3 games. I don't know. A lot of people like this segment the best. I'm sure a lot of people actually even tune out after lineup study. I look like Patrice Bergeron. No one's ever told me that, actually. I've never gotten that one. I've gotten different NHL players. Yeah, we NBA at 8:30, man. We're gonna get out of here pretty early, I think. This 3-gamer is pretty good, though, I think, as far as short slates go. I like short slates. I don't like them 3 times a week like we had last week, the 2-gamers. I would like it, if we had 4 one day, 9 one day, 10, if it's in that 4 to 10 range, I like it. I don't mind some 2 and 3 gamers every once in a while, but Minnesotan Sidney Crosby. Take your time. I love short slates. Anyone notice that when Kopitar doesn't have a huge defensive assignment like McDavid, he has big offensive games? Yeah, that's normal too, because right, I think that would be normal, right? You're more focused on shutting the other guy down. You've got some secondary scoring if Toffoli and Carter are going to be good and play decent minutes. So, that makes sense. When's the NBA shows tonight? Well, let's see. The lock is at, I want to say 7:30 my time, 8:30 Eastern. That would put the shows at 6:30 and 7:30 Eastern time, I believe. Deeper dive at 6:30 Eastern. And that will just be one stream going into live before lock, it looks like. if ever you want to see it, you can look at the newsletter from the day, the email blast we send out, or even better, just go to the YouTube channel, click subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever we go live for anything, whether it's me or Josh or any of the other NBA guys or NFL, of course. Shout out to Ben Raza, GOAT, just crushing NFL the other day. Good guy, and a huge win for him. Got to go to Target, hurry up. I mean, you're free to go to Target. You can watch this on delay if you want. Kakinen first NHL game. Yeah, I'm going to play some of them. Let's start the games. You've got Boston and Montreal, 3.3 implied total for the Bruins, 3.2 for the Canadiens. Yaroslav Halak and Carey Price in net. And right off the bat, I will just come out and say that this is my favorite game as far as offense goes. I think the totals, I'll update after the show, but I'm pretty sure the totals, this is down to a 6 total game, which makes me a little bit nervous, but also maybe that'll get some people off of the game. No Bergeron for Boston. That's the huge news. That is, so I'm wondering why the total went down. I mean, it was bet up to 6.5. I think it opened at 6. But yeah, it's down to 6, maybe with some juice to the over. Yeah, Target trip is always great. So my man's got to get to Target, so I'll definitely hurry up just for him. So we're gonna see Danault, Tatar, Gallagher going up against Bergeron, Krejci, Marchand, and Pasternak. I think for basically the entire game. And so if Bergeron was playing here, this game would suck, I think, because you'd have Boston 1, super expensive, and then you'd have a bad matchup for Danault, Tatar, Gallagher. Now, Bergeron's missed a couple games. Krejci has slid in for him. Last year, the numbers weren't bad defensively. So far this year, pretty poor defensively in their couple of games. I don't think they're going to be elite defensively without Bergeron on that line. I mean, he makes just a massive difference. So I think they'll still be fine offensively. Marchand and Pasternak. It is a big downgrade for them. So that's a big upgrade for Danault, Tatar, Gallagher. And I don't think projection systems are going to account for that. And the total is not really accounting for that either. So, I like playing Montreal. I think they're fine offensively. You got a backup in net, no Tuukka. Now, Halak's not bad or anything, but I really, really, really love Danault, Tatar, Gallagher. And it looks like they're not going to be owned that much compared to some of these other lines on the slate. So even better. I mean, yeah, we've got no one right now above 20% on DraftKings. So I love Montreal 1. But on the other side, you've got a cheap Boston 1 with no Bergeron. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be like the end of the world for them offensively. You got a new face, Jack Studnicka. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's $2,500. He's a center, so you got this double center on DraftKings. Not a big deal because you can play 2 centers. Is he even on FanDuel? I didn't even see. I'm not playing on FanDuel tonight. I go in spurts over there. Anyways, Coyle, Studnicka, DeBrusk going up against probably Domi, Lehkonen, Suzuki, the third line as well from Montreal. I think that is a really interesting line and super cheap. So, they're going to get some popularity. But I also love Pasternak as a one-off. I like going Pasternak. Marchand, 2-man. I like going Krejci, Pasternak, 2-man. I still do like Boston 1 a lot. It's a good power play spot for Boston. And they're just more affordable with no Bergeron. So, yeah, they're not as good. But now you got Coyle on the top power play. Corrali not playing that many minutes. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I wish they would put Corrali back with Nordstrom and Wagner. And, that line played a ton last season. And so on short slates, you could see them, being being the reason that you win a tournament if they get like a shorthanded goal or something like that. Like it feels like that happened a handful of times last year. But anyways, not really digging down to the third lines or the third line on Boston all that much. Really focused on the top six for Boston, and then the top line for Montreal. Just want to reiterate that I think it is a really sneaky good spot, and I'm kind of glad the total's moving down because I think that's going to get the ownership off of them. Could be dead wrong, but this is my favorite game for offense. This will be the game I have the most exposure to, even before ownership projections, and now that we have ownership, I like it even more. Defenseman, Weber, we've got Krug on the other side. Those are the power play one quarterbacks. Mike Riley at 2,500, I guess, is on the top power play. You know, it's not like it's Riley versus Weber because there's $4K in salary difference. That's a completely different roster you're building out as far as what you can do. I'm sticking to Weber and Petrie for the most part. I'll look and see. Yeah, the Montreal is hard to stack too with the power play and all the lines mixed up. Exactly. And that too plays into why I like them, because you're usually getting decreased ownership on one of Danault or Tatar. Gallagher usually gets some ownership, and we have that reflected. But like the full stack, people don't like to play it. But like I said yesterday, just give me lines that are good at 5-on-5 that are playing, 13, 14, 15 minutes at 5-on-5 some nights, and I'll hope they figure it out. Like I just want a ton of chances from lines, and that'll give you a better chance to be on the positive side of variance in the long term, I think. So I care about high danger chance data and scoring chance data, and obviously Corsi 4 and all that. And all your natural stat trick stats, expected goals, same sort of stuff. Like just give me the teams that have, or the lines that have good numbers, and even better that they don't have to worry about Bergeron tonight. Krug at 6,100. You could certainly play him in a Boston 1 stack because you're not paying like $30,000 for Boston 1 tonight. You could go Marchand, Pastrnak, Krug. I like that trio. But as a one-off, 6,100 is really tough to pay for him. So the one-off guy I'm looking at more is McAvoy, 3,900. Probably going to skate a bunch with Boston 1 at 5-on-5. Yeah, I think there is some built-in correlation there, even though they're not in the same power play. All right. Domi, Weber makes a nice stack. Yeah, I don't like the Domi line as much. I feel like I'm always low on them. They're cheap. I get it. Like I'll run them in my crunch, but I think they're gonna get filtered out. Like I like Boston 1 better than the Domi line, and it looks like Domi is getting more ownership than them. So kind of an easy choice if you're playing the ownership game for me. Petrie at 5K. In your 4-mans, I like going Petrie with Montreal 1 because they're all in the power play together. You can still go Weber with Montreal 1, probably skate some at 5-on-5 and all that. It's not the end of the world. And who knows if Montreal's units get mixed up anyways. Weber's probably your guy with the other lines, though. Hope this game goes off. We'll see. Because this game, I think, stinks. Minnesota, New Jersey, 2.8 implied total for the Wild. 3.2 for the Devils. Capo Kähkönen going for the Wild, making his debut. Louis Domingue for the Devils. Devils are the most boring team in the NHL right now, I think. You've got Taylor Hall, and then, I guess you've got a good top line. You would think they'd be good, right? But they haven't been good this year. So I don't know if someone has an injury or what's going on. I always say I'm not really plugged into the hockey world. I watch games for DFS. I watch guys that I'm invested in. So I don't pretend to know the most about hockey or anything like that. But their numbers just aren't great. And, the matchup is not bad tonight. Minnesota worse on the road, as most teams are worse on the road. Their splits aren't that massive as I'm seeing in years prior. I like Taylor Hall a lot at 7,200 just because I think he's just a really dynamic playmaker. The problem is if you play Hall like you do, and you play Hall one-off, first of all, he's going to be popular. He correlates really well to his line mates because they're all on the top power play together, especially Palmieri, who does a lot of the goal scoring. I don't think Minnesota is very good, and they've got a 3.2 total, which is pretty high for the Devils, a team that just doesn't really generate that much offense. So what the numbers are telling me to do is just kind of get off of this game or be lower on this game than the field, and that's almost certainly what's going to happen for me. You look at these two teams as far as here. Let's see. Where is Minnesota? So Minnesota and New Jersey, they're like middle of the pack in Corsi against per 60. You look at them, Minnesota least scoring chances against per 60. You look at Minnesota high danger chances, and this is all at 5-on-5 score and venue adjusted. High danger chances against per 60, 8. That is the lowest in the NHL right now. You look at high danger chances for on the Devils side, 8.9. That is bottom 5. You look at scoring chances for the Devils. They are last in the league at 22.35. Like, they just do not generate much offense. So I think I'm okay losing out on the Devils tonight if they end up going off as chalk. I'm okay with that, I think. So here's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of Hall one-offs for me. It's going to be some Hall, Hischier, Palmieri because I'm capping guys to try to generate a bunch of lineups. But looking at, I think I've got kind of my crunch where I want it to be. I think my exposures aren't going to change that much now in between lock. I am well under the field on Hall. I'm well under the field on Palmieri. Both at Hall's going to be the guy I'm closest to the field on if he's going to come in around 35-40% where we have him. After that, it's just the Devils just stink. They just absolutely stink, I think. Maybe they'll make me eat my words. Where do you get the danger numbers? That is Natural Stat Trick. naturalstattrick.com. So, then I look at the Wild side. It's not like they generate a ton of chances. I think they should be better than what they've shown so far this season. Like, they've got 3 viable lines here. Stahl, Zucker, Zuccarello, we talked about them yesterday, me and Cliffy. They're kind of outperforming their metrics. Like, they've been okay, but their numbers aren't great. Koivu, Parise, Fiala, I think is an interesting stack. Maybe you leave off Koivu. Really no problem ever doing that. Fiala and Parise, both guys that can score goals, whereas Koivu, you're really banking on assists. He does not have much goal scoring upside at all these days. So you can cue the Koivu double dong tonight, and then I will lose all my money. But actually, the thing I'm getting to most in this game is Minnesota 3. What are you guys talking about in chat? Why are you guys asking each other about your respective targets in your states? I like the third line for Minnesota as a line I'm going to be overweight on. So Eriksson, Ek, Greenway, Cunnin, the numbers are good. I think they're going to get pretty decent matchups. Like, they're not going to have to deal with Hischier, Hall, Palmieri. So that kind of sucks because if this game were in Minnesota, you would see Minnesota 3 see a bunch of time against Hischier, Hall, Palmieri. So that would increase their ice time. Like I said, this line's not that great. And so on the road, though, you get to go up against the second, third, and fourth lines for the Devils. And I think they're better than any of the other 3 lines that the Devils have. So I'm expecting kind of a grinded out game. Maybe this boring Devils thing is a lot of noise. Maybe. I don't think they're very good. I just don't think they're good. Like, this line should be generating a ton of chances. This line was very, like, they were active last year, both ends. Like, you could get them defensively. They were good offensively. This year, they're just not the same. So I don't know if it has to do with the style of play or what. But as chalk, I'm not all that interested in being near the field on the Devils. So I'm probably going to have Hall in the 25 to 30% range. There's going to be a drop-off to Palmieri. There's going to be a drop-off to Hischier. I don't think I'm going to get to the field on any of those guys. So while I understand the merits of playing the team with the highest implied stack, their top line, that's not where I'm going to win money on this slate. If I do, it's going to be, maybe Hall scores a goal and has a multi-point game. But if this line goes nuts at this ownership, I don't think I'm going to be there. So it's more two-mans. I'm running some 3-3s because it's a 3-gamer, but they're not going to be in a ton of them, I don't think. So not fading the Devils. I don't want to get it twisted. I'm playing 100 lineups tonight. I'm not fading the Devils, but not going to be at where we have them on our ownership projections, that's for sure. Coleman can get a goal. Yeah. So Coleman's on the fourth line, right? But he has been on the fourth line the last couple games, and he's played, 16 and almost 15 minutes. So I don't hate playing Coleman. If you wanted to get real deep, but I do prefer the third line for Minnesota. Hall, Palmieri, Hischier, Gusev, and Vatanen. Yep. There's New Jersey power play one. The defenseman, kind of gross in this, on the Devil side especially. Subban hasn't done much of anything. I don't mind Severson for 2,900. Vatanen's going to be the guy that people play with New Jersey one. I'm going to try to avoid playing a ton of Vatanen. His upside, I think, is tied to New Jersey one going off. And if New Jersey one goes off on the power play, I'll just take my losses on Vatanen. On the other side, Dumba, Spurgeon, my two favorite targets. Outside of that, Brodin is a guy I'm punting with a couple times at 2,600. Now, you look at Brodin's minutes and you're like, all right, 22, 20, 23 and a half. But like, he just doesn't do much of anything. So you're looking for the block shot bonus or to donk and assist with most $2,600 guys, and Brodin is no different. So I don't want to make it seem like he's a great player or anything, but that is a guy I'm actually punting with a couple times. Let's go to the last game of the slate. Dallas and Chicago. We've got a 2.8 implied total for the Stars, 2.7 for the Blackhawks. Anton Khudobin and Corey Crawford. In that Dallas play last night, it was Bishop, so I think we're going to see Khudobin, and you can always adjust if need be. A little surprised that this is only a 5.5 total game. I'll go update and see if there's been any changes since earlier today. And I thought I was going to get a ton of Dallas when I ran things and looked at the projections. I'm actually not getting to that much Dallas, so I'll get to my normal allotment of Sagan and Ben, Rupe Hintz. I thought that line was going to be. Well, I shouldn't say I thought that line. I think that line is going to be good at 5-on-5. Now, they were not last night, but that was against Vegas. Vegas is a really tough team. Yeah, they've had some bad home losses, but Dallas, I hope they keep giving this line a few more games. And that's the line I like the most for Dallas. I do like Radulov again. It's a little bit point chasey, but 5,500 if you wanted to do some sort of power play style stack for Dallas with Klingberg or something like that, by all means, I think that's a phenomenal play. I still don't think the Hawks are good defensively, but maybe Radulov gets some increased ownership because of his huge performance last night. And he is capable of that kind of thing again because he's just solid for DFS at 5,500, a guy who's going to put a bunch of shots on goal. There's not really a matchup you should be scared of with the Blackhawks here. I mean, I think the Ben, Sagan, and Hintz line has the advantage against all these lines, despite not having a good showing at 5-on-5 last night. On the Blackhawks, it's kind of par for the course for what I usually think of them, especially on these shorter slates. I think they're too highly owned. Everyone's going to look at the fancy prices for Strome and DeBrincat and Kane being affordable with his line mates. I understand it. They'll probably score a full line goal and bury me, but Strome as almost 25%. I get that there's only 6 teams, but like this right now is the second highest owned line in the slate for us on DraftKings. I know different price point, but I prefer Boston 1. I prefer Montreal 1. So if that game is not going off by the time the Chicago game starts, I'll probably just go to bed or something like that, or start on tomorrow's massive slate, because if one of those two lines, Boston 1 or Montreal 1, or I guess even New Jersey 1, I guess I'm gonna have New Jersey 1, so I plausibly could have a lineup that does well with them, but I'm looking at that first game we talked about, and if that game is 2-1, it's probably time to close the laptop type of thing. Playing 650 lineups? I don't know. I mean, use one unique and just let it fire to see what happens. Like that one guy, LaMouche or LA Mouche, who just, it seems like he just uses the optimizer and doesn't stack. And it's worked for him a couple times, so not making fun of him, but that's different types of play style. What else do we got here? Camp, Shaw, Kubelik. I actually do like Kubelik for 3,600. I'll be playing some of that, all from listening to you. Geez, I mean, I don't know if I advocate for 650 lineups, but yeah, play more lineups. Alex advocates for that. Just play more lineups. Different strokes for different folks. Exactly. I mean, the guy banked the $10 like 3 times in a week doing that on like big slates too. So he's smarter than I am. Gurianov, Pavelski. I don't mind Gurianov for 3,800. He's just played really well this year. Had decent results too. And then Taze Saad. It kind of stinks that they're not on the same power play. Yeah, you can do a Dallas power play stack for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Taze Saad, Nylander has been actually a decent line offensively in terms of generating chances. I'm more looking at the Taze Saad duo. Do you try to correlate your defenseman on bigger slates? I think it's a better idea. I still will. Like, I'm still going to have some more like power play looking stacks because I'm running a lot of 3-2-1s. I like 3-2-1. And for people that don't know what 3-2-1 is, 3-2-1 would be 3 guys from the same line, 2 guys from another, and then a one-off forward elsewhere as a utility. For cash, I wouldn't try to correlate. I wouldn't go out of my way to correlate in cash. Like I would, you could end up on Marchand and Pasternak, for example, in cash. But like I wouldn't be like, all right, starting my lineup with Boston 1 or the Kane line. Like I would just play the best plays and jam in a couple value guys and see what happens. But I'm not I don't play much cash, but that's how I would play it. Is the Taze, Kane, DeBrincat thing that used to happen mid-game last year just not happening anymore? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've seen them pretty much stick together. I can check on that really quick. I've already got Natty Statty up, so let's see here. Let's look at wait, was this against? Is this the last time the Hawks played against the Stars? I didn't even notice that. All right, so Kane, Strome, DeBrincat, those guys played almost 12 minutes at 5-on-5. Taves, Nylander, Saad played just over 10. Let's look at Taves individually, see if he got any shifts with Kane. Yeah, I mean, a couple shifts with both Kane, well, all of Kane, DeBrincat, Shaw. That could have been someone took a penalty or something and the lines got mixed up for a couple shifts. Taves gives you the PP correlation now over Strome, though. Yeah, that is... Yeah, you could definitely do a power play stack. I know when I checked maybe a week ago, I checked on Dallas and how many penalties they were taking. They are at the third most time shorthanded in the NHL. So they've got a good penalty kill. One of the best, actually, in the NHL. Geez, San Jose is at 91%. Wow. That's insane for 25 games played. Anyways, Dallas is at 86% almost. But they are taking a bunch of penalties. So I'd rather go up against a good PK. Penalty or power play goals are hard to score anyways. And like Cliffy said yesterday, you're only going to get one of those most nights. A lot of times 0. Rarely do you get more than one goal on the power play in a game. So give me the opportunities is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, if you want to do a power play stack, just because it's a good penalty kill, crazy things happen. What goalie are you on considering 2 rookies and a backup are in the cage tonight? Goalie is the worst position in DFS. It might be worse than defense in NFL. So for me, I usually try to correlate goalies, meaning play a stack, and whatever stack I'm playing, if I'm playing 2 stacks, take a goalie on the same team, because if your stack goes off, it's more likely your goalie is going to win. If your stack doesn't go off, well, you're not winning anyways, so who cares if your goalie wins? So the goalies I have the most of right now, let's see. Oh, geez, I don't have this sorted by position. I actually have the most of Halak. I have him at 33% right now. That's actually pretty high, even for a 3-game slate for me. I usually get some exposure to each goalie. Let's see. Khudobin is my next guy at 20. Deming, then Crawford. The guy I have the least of, I think, is Kakkonen. Actually, no. I have Kakkonen at almost double digits. Price I have in single digits. I mean, it's all going to be so close. Who else did I mention? No, I think I mentioned them all. So I'm basically going to have everyone close to double digits for goalie, just based on how I play. Like I said, I'm playing 100 lineups at least. We'll see if I pony up the extra 50, but I think I kind of like where I'm at with 100. And like I said, maybe a couple weeks ago, I've had success playing less lineups on shorter slates, because then I feel like I have to hone in on a couple teams, not necessarily going crazy, going all in or anything, but I do like having to make some choices more on shorter slates with less lineups. It's his first start. Yeah. I'm playing some of him. Like I said, I'm playing everyone. Goalie sucks because, especially with the DK bonus, everyone's in play. I shouldn't say everyone's in play. If you have a good chance for a win, I guess you're in play. Or a shutout, you're probably in play. But that also means you're probably expensive, and you're probably going to see less volume, especially if you're a large favorite. If you're cheap, then you're probably expected to see higher volume, so you're in play. it just sucks. And it's already a highly variant position. Now you're making the lower salary guys a lot of times have more upside than the higher salary guys. So there's not a real reason to pay up. Like, I think a couple weeks ago, Halak was a huge favorite, and he was like 8,400 on a shorter slate, and everyone played him. And it's like, well, why? I mean, yeah, he's probably going to win, but is he going to outscore the rest of the goalies? Probably not. And all these goalies are going to have ownership. Anyone like Crawford? Let's see. What do we have him as far as... So what I would do is, if you're like hand building and you have access to the projections, is just go to the projections and see who's projected to see the most saves, and see if those goalies at the top that are projected to see the most saves make sense with what you have with the rest of your lineup. So right now we have Crawford expected to see the most saves. So yeah, I think Crawford's fine if you're playing a Blackhawks stack. Even if you're not, if you're game stacking the Boston guy. I'm reading chat and trying to talk at the same time. Not good, really, at either one of those. So trying to do both is pretty brutal. If you're game stacking this game, yeah, you can one-off. Like I said, I like to correlate goalie where it makes sense. On shorter slates, it makes sense less of the time. So I correlate less on short slates. SP2s in MLB are the worst. Oh, I disagree. I think goalies in NHL are so much worse. The scoring that they have. They just completely nuke the slate so often. When in real life, like, that shouldn't be the case. If you're trying to simulate like real life, I know. Well, never mind. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. There's a lot of you playing. Man, a lot of you must be really bored with NBA today, and you turn on this NHL stream. So thank you all for tuning in and spending some time with me. If you could give us a like, that would be great for me, great for the channel. It does help us continue to do this kind of content for free. So that's really all I ask for you, besides all the stuff I try to sell on you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. I'm just going to go through kind of what we have going on from a site's perspective. You haven't seen bad scoring until you play DK. League of Legends? Is that for real? Petty, you do not play League of Legends. All right, main slate ownership projections are free today for NBA. Check out the Osmo_com Twitter page. On the pinned tweet, we have a giveaway going on. $1,000 value, free year of Platinum Osmo Plus. You get access to everything on the site for a year. Who is your favorite Mighty Ducks player from movies, and who would be the best for DFS? Well, I've never seen the Mighty Ducks that I can remember, so gotta remember I'm a little bit younger. So I will let you guys answer that in chat. Yeah, I couldn't name one character. Capo Kakinen. To be honest, like I always struggle trying to figure out these guys, like the new guys that come up, especially goalies, like just the worst position. Now you're gonna bring a rookie into it. Who knows? Like I just let Vegas do the trick on goalies. So I just don't think he's gonna see a lot of volume, but he is cheap. 7,200. He's the cheapest goalie on the slate. So there's always merit in playing cheap goalies, especially against a chalk stack. I don't love like goalie leverage as a way to differentiate from the field, because it doesn't necessarily work like how people think it does, like with pitching in MLB and like stacking against a popular pitcher, or vice versa, playing a pitcher against a popular stack. Like only one can do well, whereas in NHL, like the goalie could see 35 saves and see the bonus and score 20 points, but if the stack scores 2 goals as chalk, that goalie doesn't really even matter then, even though they had a good game. Whereas in MLB, you can't really do that. Charlie is the David Krejci of the slate. So what? He's just got 2 studs next to him and just feeds him the puck and gets 1 assist and 1 shot on goal. It's That's probably Krejci. So I'm going to be a fish that plays Krejci. Slapshot, that's a hockey movie. Is that a Disney movie? I want to say that's a Disney movie. You guys got me all sorts of off track here. While you guys are talking about movies, check out Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Check out their Turkey Trot and Turkey Baller tournaments. Be on the lookout for more low management fee or no management fee or rake for guaranteed overlay contests. You have to jump on them quick because they don't last very long. Like, they're already filled 2. I don't know if there's going to be another, but check back with Yahoo. Not a Disney movie? All right, well, I don't know anything then. Check out the NBA contest if you're playing the 2-gamer. You want to use those ownership projections. Oh, yeah, I like Miracle. I've seen that tons of times. $10, 30K baller. They've got 5K to first on Yahoo. Now would be a good time to do that. Looks like it only half fill. Is this even going to fill? I don't know. Might be some overlay in that. And then NHL. We've got a bunch of contests too at various price points. If anybody has any other questions related to DFS or anything you want me to talk about, feel free. We've got a couple more minutes. Otherwise, we can just get out of here and you guys can go do whatever for an hour and a half until the NBA shows start. Miracle far too pro USA. All movies regarding the USA, not all, but a lot of them are like that. Glorifying the USA. I'm assuming that's what you meant by that. Slapshot is R-rated. Oh yeah, okay. I know which movie you're talking about. That is not a Disney movie. Target runs. Yeah, I usually go to Target like once a week. Get my LaCroix. Target closes in 5. Not for me, it doesn't. I think the Targets by me are like they're open till like 10 o'clock. So I don't know what that gentleman was talking about, but you got more than enough time to watch the show, watch the NBA shows, do all that good stuff. Take advantage of the free stuff we have on the site. Use promo code HitTheIce to get 50% off your first month of any Osmo.com monthly package. Other than that, guys, I like this 3-game slate. So come talk in Slack if you have any questions. We will be posting any any new lines. I'm not really expecting any new lines from these teams, especially not in the 7 Eastern games. But if we see anything a half an hour before lock, we'll drop it in chat and we can react. All right, good luck tonight, guys. Nolan and I will be back for the massive 13-gamer tomorrow. We're going to try to start right on time, maybe even a little bit early. So be ready for that. And good luck tonight. Let's take it down.